What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another trading analytics video. So the overall market is in a very interesting spot with some big earnings reports coming out later on this week with Nvidia, and we have big Dow names: Walmart, Target, John Deere, Lowe's, etc., all reporting at some point this week. So it's going to be a lot of fluctuation in the market following a massive a week and a half actually, post the election, where we saw rallies to new all-time highs on the vast majority of the tickers, the indexes, as well as some key individual names as well. Now, if you're taking a look here on the daily chart on SPY, what we have here is a nice little bounce from a support zone there at 575 on the daily from last week. Got our breakthrough up here, fell down to a retest to a 584 zone. 584 was treated as support, which was previously our all-time high level for SPY, and it's presenting itself with a nice bit of a curl upside to send us back to retest this upper trend line here to close this gap at 590. And if that gap fill closes and holds, then we'll likely look to retest the 600 zone as well as establish new all-time highs heading into December. Names that you're going to want to watch out for in conjunction with that is going to be names like Amazon, as well as the retailers, Walmart, Target, etc. So keep that in mind with SPY in the total U.S. market. And then you have names like the Qs. Similar to SPY, we broke through the previous top resistance point, which in this case was 504. And now we caught a bit of a minor support at a resistance point at 497. So now that we got that bounce at 497, we didn't fully get that gap closed down to the downside. But with the push to this new level here at 504, if that holds, we'll likely be able to see a nice continued bounce as well. So in this scenario, you're going to have names like Microsoft, which had a big pullback going in, heading into the weekend before catching itself a support around 415. It's going to look to rally, I think, and look to close the gap to the upside at 426 within a reasonable amount of time to finally close the full gap at 432. So that's something you're going to want to look at. Microsoft, we'll take a look at that in a moment. But something you want to keep an eye out with the Qs is the fact that NVIDIA's earnings can have a massive effect on where the Qs go. If NVIDIA reports, and I mean, it's widely expected for NVIDIA to beat, as it has been the last year and a half. But if the guidance isn't as good as a lot of people think it's going to be, then what's likely going to happen is instead of us going upwards to retest this 504 zone, we're probably going to curl down, reject, lose 497, and look to retest 486, which would be in conjunction with this previous support line, as well as the uptrend line that we've been tracking for the last few months on the Qs. So keep that in mind. Now, speaking of NVIDIA, XOXX is going to have a major factor as well. If you look here, we've actually been a bit of a curl down on this inverted head and shoulders type pattern that we have here on the daily. And we had a failed reclamation attempt last week to grab the support here at 225 to bounce towards this next heavy resistance point at 236. But there's a reason why I said this was heavy resistance. It's been heavy resistance for months, dating back to the beginning of 2024. And as you can see here, we retested it twice and failed completely, rejected all the way back down here to the support to close this gap at 211. And now that we have that finally closed, we're looking to bounce up to close this gap. And it's likely that we're going to see 217 on XOXX heading into NVIDIA's earnings on Wednesday. So something to keep an eye on. But for me, it's a no-touch zone for me, simply because NVIDIA's ER is going to have such a massive effect on the overall direction of the ETF. Finally, we'll take a look at Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related names, because we actually starting to see a little bit of a consolidation at the $90,000 zone. Got a nice bull flag that looks to be forming here. If this holds, then this breakout's probably going to take us to $94,000 on Bitcoin, and putting that big, beautiful number of 100,000 well within striking distance for the asset. And a lot of people who've been bullish on Bitcoin since day one, or as low as $3,000, which, fun fact for me, I was buying Bitcoin back in the 3000s. Funny story behind that. We'll get into that some other time. But I say this to say that this nice consolidation we're having, as long as we do not lose this level here. Let me adjust this line. We cannot lose 89,000. Because if we lose 89,000, then we're likely going to retest 86. And if we lose 86, we're probably going to go back down to about $80,000 flat. But I think we're going to get this, if we survive this retest down here at 89, then that's going to push us towards that $94,000 zone. So that's what I got for you guys today. One thing I do want to remind you guys that we also, not only do we have just you guys know about our server, and just not just regulars, but we also have a wonderful new $1,000 and $10,000 challenge going on in our server. We've already completed 2 of them this year. This will be our 3rd one, and it's pretty exciting because yours truly is leading it. So for those who have not, link to our Discord in the description of this video as well as in our channel bio. Come by, take a look, check us out. You'll learn a bunch of new things, prepare yourself, learn some skills for the holidays, and be prepared to make a lot of money. The challenge is going to be a lot of fun, and we're excited to see where it goes next. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.